When you're meeting with a client, how do you keep up with certain things? So, do you try to keep the house as on trend as possible? I know some things are trending, but maybe aren't going to have a good longevity. So, do you try to guide your client that way? I know it's going to be more for who buys the home is going to enjoy these finishes more than the seller does, but do you try to guide them to do something that's not really super trendy, but that's going to be a little more evergreen?
Yeah, the focus for us is neutrality. So we're not going any two in one direction, right? Because we're getting this house fixed up so that it can sell. So my guidance is usually we use a lot of light colors. If we do a pop of color, it might be on like an island or something like that. But our designers are going to stay up to date with kind of whatever the latest and greatest is. And we'll
Right.
play on something that is beautiful and elegant, yet simple. The only time you might see any crazy patterns or anything like that might be in a really high end powder bath. For some reason, that's like a thing. It's the
Yeah.
expectation. But aside from that, we really do. And maybe occasionally, in some just a regular powder bath, we might have a more elaborate floor tile or something of that nature. But for the most part, we want to keep it really safe because the goal is that anybody that walks into that house can visualize themselves moving in. And they can say, even if maybe Benjamin Moore Moroccan red is their favorite color, that they could paint those walls. They just have to be able to
Right.
see it safe enough. So that's kind of the philosophy we stick with.
So walk me through the process. If, for example, I was getting ready to sell my home, for example, and I live in San Antonio and I need your service, I don't know exactly what to ask you for. What is the process of you taking me on as a client and us working together?
Well, Angela, you're not going to know about me. Your realtor is going to tell you about me. So your
Okay.
realtor is going to have already had a conversation with you to say, you know what, Angela, I think there's some things that we can do to really help capitalize on the equity that's sitting in your house. And I think if we do some things that we can get this house sold for a lot more and that I can move it much quicker. But I'm going to bring in an expert of mine. She's going to help us to sort of assess and make some recommendations. You might have already had a conversation. Let's say Brooke is your real estate agent. She might have already had a conversation with you to explain that like houses right now, that look like yours are maybe selling for 350. And that if we get them fixed up, we're seeing comps that like might even command a $425,000 price. And so when I'll come in, I can help to reinforce that conversation and explain these are the types of things that we do. We paint cabinets, we install counters, we change out hardware, we change out lighting. Maybe we look at flooring. We can easily replace carpet because carpet is cheap and can be installed really, really quick. So we give them tips and tricks like that. And then we focus on the places we need to focus. So depending upon the condition of the house, but you guys, kitchens sell houses. So a lot of times we're doing work in the kitchen because that's the heart of the home. So it just depends, but it's really a good conversation. And then it's up to the client to decide, do I want to do it or not? Some people are going to say, you know what, that's a smart investment. Let's do it. And other people are like, I just don't have the appetite to live through construction. So we give them a chance to make that choice.